Welcome back, everybody, in this next episode of Vidstorical Reviews. And in this episode, we are reviewing Wave 5. Now, this is already starting to get to the more obscure parts of Disney, the ones that you can't find on Disney+. Now, the first box set that I'm going to go over is Donald Duck Volume 2. Now, if you've seen my previous video where I discussed Volume 1, it kind of connects to this one in a bit, where we explore even more notable Donald Duck cartoons. Now, the second one, I actually never heard of this TV show until I started collecting these treasures. And it's called El Fego Baca, the Swamp Fox. I'm going to tell you, honestly, I have actually never gone through this box set, so this one, we're going to explore it together. But the only thing I heard was the main theme song, because in my in one of my Disney CDs that I have that has like a lot of obscure songs, it has a main theme song to this. So I'm familiar with it. Third one is called Disney Rarities. This one's actually one of my favorite box sets because it not only has cartoons, but it has some of the Alice comedies. Now, the Alice comedies, for those of you that are unaware, are these little shorts that Walt Disney worked on before getting really into animation. So he did these before he came to California, and then he hired a little girl named Virginia Davis to star in these shorts, based on the Alice in Wonderland stories. Instead of a cartoon coming to a real life world, it's a real life girl going into a cartoon world. So it's definitely state-of-the-art, something people have never seen before, and this is what put Walt Disney on the map. So this one's going to be really fun to go over with. Now, the fourth one is also a DVD set I've never gone through, and it's called The Adventures of Spinandmarty. Now, this was a TV show of the 50s, and this one I'm actually pretty excited to go over because a friend of mine actually told me that he was a child actor, and he actually appeared in one of these episodes. So we'll see if we could actually spot him in this together. And I'm excited to go through these boxes with you, and let's go check them out, shall we? Now, here we have the 4 treasures. First is Volume 2, Donald, Disney Rarities, Spinandmarty, El Fego Baca, the Swamp Fox. Now, here's the Donald. Just going to show you guys a little close-up of the Donald. Open it up. Plastic case. Here it is. Here's the discs. Pretty nice. Here's the art for it. While Donald Duck's fiery temper is well known, his full name isn't. It was finally revealed in an early 1940 short, Donald Fauntleroy Duck. Huh, that's interesting. Certificate. The booklet. Pretty nice. Look, there's Clarence Nash on the side with all of his funny facial expressions. Shorts. This kind of reminds me of the Jungle Cruise a little bit. And just a little taste of that. And let's go check out the DVDs. Now, here we are in the DVD exploration of the Donald Duck Volume 2. Now, here's the disc, and let's pop it in. Main menu of Donald Volume 2. Let's check this out. Now, here we have the fabulous Leonardmaltin introducing this Donald Volume 2.
We're joining Donald in the midst of World War II.
So this is around World War II era. As you see, he's going to have a lot of politically charged cartoons, as he was a spokesperson for the Disney studio to fight back against the Nazis. So here we have the main menu, play all from the vault, bonus features, and let's see what we got. Chronological order. So here we have Bellboy Donald, the village smithy, Donald's Snow Fight, Donald's Garden, Donald's Gold Mine, Donald's Tire Trouble, and Flying Jalopy. Let's pick out 2 of the cartoons, so let's just go with Donald Snow Fight. Here we have his shining face. But I'm only going to fast forward it just to give you guys a taste of the cartoon, as we don't want to get copyright stricken. But here we have Huey, Dewey, and Louie, which is pretty cool to see. They're not that common at the parks. Oh, that was a really short one. So let's check out another one, shall we? Donald's Gold Mine. So let's fast forward through that one. As you notice, RKO Pictures is in the title card. RKO was not a major studio as you would compare it to MGM or Warner Brothers, but they distributed a lot of films for Disney, especially in the early years. And that's why you always see distribute through RKO, because they help distribute them to theaters, because Disney was a small company. I'm gonna play another one because these were really short. It's more short than I thought, a lot shorter than I thought they were. So this one's Buena Vista distribution. You don't see RKO in this one. That's at this time they must have had their distribution company already set up. So here we have this. And as you notice that Donald now has his blue hat. In the earlier shorts, as you guys saw, he had his white hat. And the first hat he had, the blue one, was in one of my favorite Donald shorts called the Autograph Hound. Now let's go see what's in the main menu. From the vault. And here we have leonardmaltin talking right here. Now after skipping over the leonardmaltin intro, he basically was saying that in a lot of these cartoons, especially with Donald, they were promoting the troops in order to fight against the Nazis, with trying to show the Nazi propaganda and everything, and how Donald cartoons were fighting against that in a way, and also how a lot of products in the United States, such as a rubber for tires, were rationed. So Donald would make fun of that in some of his cartoons. And a lot of what the people, the animators and the story artists were experiencing, they put it through the gags of Donald Duck. So just a way for them to release that tension and energy they were experiencing during the wartime. So here from the vault we have those special Donald cartoons that honed in all of this, such as, let's see what we got. So we got Donald Gets Drafted, The Vanishing Private, Sky Trooper, and Dare Fear's Face. So as you can tell from Dare Fear's face, that one is very Adolf Hitler oriented. So we'll review that one. But I wanted to also show you guys Donald Gets Drafted, especially since it's very war heavy. And I also saw there was a page 2, so I'll show you guys that too. So here we have a special Army Donald cartoon. As you say, it's RKO. So Donald Gets Drafted, as you see right here. And as you notice, there's a lot of wartime propaganda that's happening just to help people enlist in the war and why they should do their part to fight against the enemy. This is a routine check of Donald. This one, I just realized that this Donald, I have a little statue that I can show you guys that I got years ago of a special series of certain scenes in cartoons, and I feel that they got it from this cartoon. I can show you and kind of compare it. But there you go. Sometimes showing a little bit the life of Army Private isn't exactly the most glamorous, as Donald experienced there. So here we have Dare Fear's face. An older Dare. So this one has also a lot of the stereotypes of enemies, as you saw a Japanese caricature, because they were, at the time, the Japanese were their enemies, so they promote that heavily in cartoons. But you saw how the cartoon was basically Donald having a nightmare serving under Adolf Hitler. And at the end, he hugged the Statue of Liberty, just being happy he's back in the United States of America. So the next page, here we have Fall Out, Fall In, the Old Army Game, Home Defense, and Commando Duck. I'm just going to grab one of these just to show you guys a taste of it. Commando Duck. Different hat, Donald. RKO picture, as you see. But even Disney knew how to make animation both entertaining and informational. That's what I really enjoy about classic Disney. And as you see, a lot of these cartoons are very short. So that's all those. But that's why it's very important to even, not only from an animation perspective, but if you're learning about world wars, it's important to watch all these propaganda type of cartoons. It helps you learn a little bit. So that's from the vault. I'm going to go back to the main menu to check if we missed anything. Oh, my bad. Bonus features. A Day in the Life of Donald Duck. I'm not sure what this is, so let's check this out.
Walt Disney's
Disneyland. So it's a TV show. So let's see what we have here. Day in the Life of Donald Duck. Oh, so look at that. I'm just going to go back a little bit for you guys. This is very interesting. I actually have not seen this. So I'm going with it with you guys the same way that I'm viewing it. So here we have.
He resides in a modest little cartoon house.
So Walt Disney is saying that Donald Duck lives in Beverly Hills. Okay. Okay, let's go. Look at that. Oh, look at those classic footage. Okay. So at this point, they already moved to their Burbank studio. They're not the Hyperion anymore. So it looks like Donald has his own parking space. Why would they put a fire hydrant in front of a parking space? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, but look at this beautiful classic animation building. It's beautiful. I had to lift that up a little bit. So as star as Donald is, he has to have a star on his door. So you see Donald going inside of his desk, just reviewing all the letters of the day. But can anybody tell me who this is? Comment below if you know who he is. I'll give you a couple seconds. Did you guys comment on who he was? This is the famous Clarence Nash, the voice of Donald Duck. It's just interesting to hear. He has the most, I wouldn't say the most average voice, but he definitely does not sound like he could be able to voice Donald Duck. Look at that. He's interacting with himself. That's hilarious. Okay, let's continue. Oh, look at that. Playing for the Mickey Mouse Club. Look at those funny cartoon sketches right there. More of the drawings. It's a little story, okay. Looks like he's going down. I just wanted to click there. So story department. Let's check this out. Let me see.
Here, Donald, have an easy chair. Make him comfortable.
Man, I wish I knew who some. If any of you guys know who any of these story people are, please let me know. I wish I knew the top of my head. So here's they're showing more. You can tell that also the quality is more for television because they don't have like the extreme depths of everything. It's just a simple cartoon, but it's still beautiful. Oh, okay. Let's check this. My favorite is always seeing on location stuff. So any clips of the old animation studio, I'm all for it. So look at that, the Walt Disney Productions building. Bus of Mouseketeers. Oh, look at that classic Mickey Avenue and Dopey Drive sign.
Donald Duck,
Huh.
we would like to make you an honorary member of the Mouseketeers.
No, that's cute. I did not know that they were going to show the Mouseketeers here. But I don't see... Is Annette there? I didn't see her there. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, you could tell if she was there or not by her hair. So look, going to the sound effects department. Who has actually gone to the animation studios? It's definitely a treat if you have not gone. So sound effects department right there. Oh, that is really cool. What this is also showing with Donald Duck is their whole filmmaking process. So not only adults finding it entertaining, but the younger audience is loving it because of Donald Duck being the star of the show right there. So here we have him exiting the sound effect department there. And here they're going to the ink and paint department. Oh, man. I just wish I knew who she was. Wet paint. This is the cartoon that I showed you guys. Or a little bit of it, at least. Yeah, we'll keep going there. More of the Mickey Mouse Club. Kids. Oh, there's Roy. He was, for those who don't know, Roy was a cartoonist, but he became really well known, especially in the Mickey Mouse Club, with his simple drawings of Mickey Mouse and every kind of character. With simple lines too. Very. Just that was a funny Donald drawing. Good Scouts. Let's check. Oh, another cartoon mixed with this. Petrified Tree. Did you guys see that? In Disneyland, they also have a petrified forest tree that Walt gifted to Lillian, and they decided to plant it in the park. Oh, but that was the end of that doc. And that was I love that addition. So let's check out the second disc, and we'll see if they have any other docs just like that one. Now here is the second disc. So let's check this out. Now here presenting the main screen. Now, let us see how different the second disc is to the first one. So here's a wonderful intro again by Leonard Maltin that we would have to skip, unfortunately. Actually, let me see a little bit what he said.
How Donald and how writers put words in his mouth among the subjects I discussed with Tony and Selma, the man who took over from Clarence as the voice of Donald Duck. In an interview you'll find on this disc.
Did you hear that? We're in for a treat. I'm not gonna play the whole interview, of course, for you, but I'll just go through it as a taste. So here we have that introduction, and then we have the short. So let's check them chronologically. So we have Trombone Trouble, The Plastic Inventor, Donald's Off Day, Donald and the Gorilla. So let's check out these last two. Donald's Off Day. Dun, dun. So no more RKO right here. Donald's Off Day. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Of course, they have to spoil it. You know what? This intro reminds me a little bit of Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. But for those of you guys who haven't seen that, you gotta watch that. Now let's check out this. Donald Duck and the Gorilla. This one's an RKO as well. What I find is so interesting is that they'll have the white hat still in the little intro, but they'll have the blue hat in the cartoon. Well, these cartoons are so short. I'm not even going through them that quickly. So that was the first page. The second page. Contrary Condor, The Eyes Have It, Donald's Crime, Duck Pimples, No Sale. Okay, let's check out Donald's Crime. Why not? Let's see what this one's all about. So we can fast forward that. Another Huey, Dewey, Louie cartoon. Ripping through. Huh. A lot of interesting visuals. You don't really see Daisy. I mean, you do in some, but not in more that you would like to see. So let's see Duck Pimples. I'm curious to what this is. Again, you see with a white hat. Archeo. Duck Pimples. Huh. Oh my gosh, that guy looked pretty scary when he first came in. Huh. Huh. I'm interested. Huh. She kinda... Why did this lady remind me of Jessica Rabbit? Not, of course, an exact replica of her, but she... very similar. Look at her face. She might be the inspiration for her. Her nose, the size of her eyes a little bit, the color of her dress and hair for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if she was some sort of inspiration. But that was pretty interesting. A little pocket of a trivia there. So let's go on to the next page. So as you see right there, it's 3 out of 4. So it's a pretty good amount. So here you have Cured Duck, The Clock Watcher, Old Sequoia, Donald, Double Trouble. So let's check out Cured Duck, and then we'll go on to the next one. So now we have Buena Vista. So no RKO at this point. Here who has story Roy Williams. You see that? Cured Duck. So that's one thing, as you noticed, Donald Duck was smoking a cigar. That is something that they don't allow to be shown, especially in cartoons. And even if it's for historical accuracy, they'll note it in the parental guidance. Which, in my opinion, it's a little nutty. I mean, I guess why they're trying to do it. They don't want to promote people smoking, but in real life, you see people smoking all the time. So I don't understand the difference there. People are still smoking to this day because of peer pressure and whatnot, but that's just how it is, especially in cartoons. Back then, they didn't really mind it. So now we have Donald Double Trouble, and that, as you saw, Daisy was on that last one. Buena Vista right here, and Daisy is also in this one. Oh, looks like there's 2 Donalds here. Again, I haven't seen all of these cartoons, so I am just going through them the same way you guys are going through. I just think it's very interesting. A more dapper Donald. Tunnel of Love. I wonder where all of these stereotypes of carnivals came from. In every carnival cartoon or short or what have you, I always see some kind of tunnel of love. I just wonder where that came from. Now let's see the last page. Wet Paint, Dumbbell of the Yukon, Light Housekeeping, Frank Duck Brings Them Back Alive. So let's go on with Wet Paint. I'm just curious. Buena Vista, as you see later. See, there's an enemy in this one. These little creatures that always are trying to attack Donald, and he... Oh. You see that? That was really short, sweet. Now let's check. Frank Duck Brings Them Back Alive. I'm curious to review this one. Let's see. Buena Vista. Huh. So a goofy look-alike? I guess he's supposed to be some kind of Tarzan. Let's hear it out a little bit. I don't think he's gonna talk that we know. Let's see. Huh, okay, let me see if I can find a portion of him talking. Why does... Okay. The strangest thing. Okay, well, he gotta escape that one. Let's go back to the main menu because that's all the cartoons we got, and let's go to the bonus features. So as you heard in the intro, leonardmaltin has an interview with Tony Anselmo, which is the voice of Donald Duck that came after Clarence Nash. So that's what we have here. Drawing and Talking Duck with Tony Anselmo, the art and animation of Carl Barks, the volunteer worker, timeline, the war years, and galleries. So let's explore this little doc. And these are the kind of things that you don't really see in Disney Plus. That's why it's important to be releasing these DVDs, because of this reason. You see a clip of this.
At the studio, there were only 64 people in the animation department, so it really was a small family, and there was a camaraderie. We were all on the same page, as the goal was to do the finest personality character animation, and carry on that legacy.
That is what definitely a lot of old timers do mention about the Disney Studios back then, how it felt more as a family rather than a big corporation of how it is today. And they're obviously not going to go back to the way they were because they're too big, but I just feel that that is how these charming films came out of, because of that small camaraderie.
Sometimes I feel like I'm going to pass out. It's a lot of work, you have to get this. And if you do that long enough and for hours, you get exhausted. And I said, Jack, was it hard for Ducky, or maybe for him it was easy. Maybe I have to. Oh no, I remember a couple of times he fell over in a dead faint. So.
Now that is, I recommend watching the whole thing because it's definitely a treat. I know I'm going to be watching the whole thing. So let's see what the art and animation of Carl Barks. So this one, oh, look at that. Now when I went to school for animation, I took a class with this guy here. He is one of the best, well-known animation historians around. Definitely a treat. Swell guy.
Probably about 10 years old.
So here, you saw a picture of the Hyperion Studio.
Reflects the side of people that everybody knows is inside of him. He gets mad, he gets impatient, he's a hypocrite, he blows his staff. This was the Depression. So people could relate to a character who was angry at the system, angry at life around him.
And I feel that's why Donald related to a lot of people, because he touched that part of us that people are frankly embarrassed to talk about,
Disney Studio for this award, not only for my...
Oh, look at that. So he got a Disney Legends Award. Well deserved. The 1991. I thought that's what it said. But again, true legend, and not many people know about him. Now, the volunteer worker, let us see what this is.
The Walt Disney Studio was never idle, as if the staff wasn't busy enough making short subjects and...
Now, let's see. Here's another, a different kind of short. Huh. Different short. Timeline, the war years. Let's see what that is. Huh. This is okay. So this is actually an important little doc to see too. Again, it's showing Disney through the war years, what they did, their releases, not only films, notable shorts, people around the studio, what other things they did, and through a year-by-year basis, which is really great. Oh, look, Three Caballeros, which is a great film. I mean, it's not like the Cinderella or Snow White, but it's definitely a nice time capsule. And here we have galleries, and showing the pictures of all these cartoons. So Fall Out, Fall In, The Village Smithy, Donald's Garden, Trombone Trouble, Donald's Off Day, Duck Pimples, the old army game. So I'm just going to show you guys, just since we looked at it, Duck Pimples real quick. Some of the background paintings right here, which is so exquisite. Look at that. So let's go back. Go. Beautiful. Look at that perspective. It's just gorgeous to get out of that. So here we have Arrow, the rest. Plastic Inventor, Donald Duck, and the Gorilla, and so far and so forth. Let's go back to bonus features. Main menu. Okay, and that concludes the chronological Donald Volume 2. Now let's go see the Disney Rarities. Now the next one in this list is Disney Rarities. As I told you guys earlier, this was the second of the DVD that I remember checking out when I was a kid, the first one being Oswald. And this one definitely holds a special place in my heart because I remember just being excited seeing just classic Disney when I was a child. I've always been into it, animation history, ever since I could remember. So the fact that I was able to purchase my own, it brought me back to when I was a kid. So yeah, here are the two beautiful discs. Alice Comedies. Lying there. Paul Bunyan. Legendary folk hero, Paul Bunyan is so big, he even has his own day, June 28th. Thurl Ravenscroft, the voice of Paul Bunyan and many other Disney characters, was also the voice of Tony the Tiger. Look at that. Off certificate. And the booklet. Here we have it. Oh, that's a silly picture. But yeah, just look at that. Shorts, part 1, just seeing Alice, all Alice, Ferdinand the Bull was pretty iconic during the 30s. Chicken Little. And Shorts, volume 2. Can't wait to revisit this with you guys. So let's go check it out. Now here we have the first disc of the Disney Rarities. So let's pop this in. Now here we have the main menu. So let's skip that.
Hello, and welcome to Disc 1 of Walt
Hello,
Disney
Leonard
Rarities.
Maltin.
I'm Leonard Maltin, and I'm happy to present some of the studio's most unusual and original work.
Exactly. So that's why I'm excited. Just
About one a month, with other girls eventually taking Virginia's place.
Virginia Davis, the little girl, playing in this early Alice shorts.
The results are still very entertaining.
Yep.
The men who
Say that
worked with
again.
Walt on this series included Bob Iwerks, Hugh Harman, and Rudolph Isaac. They went on to dominate the world of animated cartoons as Walt's rivals in the 1930s.
A lot of people worked with Walt in the early days. But I'm also going to explore with you guys different kinds of cartoons. Of course, I won't be able to show all of them, but at least I want to give you guys a little taste. So here we have the main menu. So let's go check out in the chronological listing. So here we have Alice's Wonderland, Alice's Wild West Show, Alice Gets in Dutch, Alice's Eggplant, Alice in the Jungle. So this is the first one that started it all. So we have to click on this one. So this one is a silent film. So that's why it's also important when one is watching these unusual and unique shorts that they get rid of their ideas of being silent movies are boring. Get that out of the window. Here, you're here to watch and learn where it all came from. So look at this. So, cute little 1920s looking little girl. And look who we have here. We have Walt Disney before his stash came in. But this is a really cute short. But But just see that amazing trick how they combine two different things together. So basically it's shot separately. The Walt Disney is being shot separately than the actual cartoon. But it's just amazing to see Walt Disney early on, before Mickey Mouse, before Snow White, before all of that, just to see the happiness he has in his eyes, and that eagerness to want to keep growing and keep improving. But as you also notice, the cartoons isn't exactly what we know of Disney cartoons. They have definitely improved over the years, and Walt Disney was very keen on making sure all of his artists took drawing classes even when they were during working, so they could always be improving their skills. So right here you see, what do you see there? Virginia Davis within the cartoon world. Now this is something that people were not used to. They're used to cartoons, people being, let me rephrase that. Cartoons in a human world, but never a human in a cartoon world. So that's what made these cartoons unique. And even knowing the limited technology back then, you have to just watch and just be astounded at what they were able to accomplish. So here we have Alice in the Jungle. I'm just going to play with you another one. So here we have a character that looks a little too much like Felix the cat, but a lot of them copied and basically ripped off each other. Let's go to the next page. So Alice's Mysterious Mystery, Alice and the Whaler, Ferdinand the Bull, Chicken Little, and the Pelican and the Snipe. So I'm gonna move on from the Alice shorts. You gotta feel what they are. Let's go to Ferdinand the Bull. Now this was another famous short that also put Disney on the map. This was one of the characters that people thought of when they thought of the Disney Studios. And just from the first Alice short that I showed you in 1923, this one is said 1938, just look at the quality of the animation and character designs just from 15 years. Huge jump. A huge, wonderful jump. So we're going to check out the Pelican and the Snipe. Huh. I've never seen that intro before, so that is very peculiar. But it still says RKO, so let's see this. Huh. It's not a silly symphony or nothing. It's just a unique short to just sport their different types of character animation. Okay, I haven't seen that short, so definitely unique looking. The Brave Engineer, Morris the Midget Moose, Lambert the Sheepish Lion, The Little House, oh my gosh, yes, this is one of my favorite shorts of all time, I have to show you that one. And Adventures in Music Melody. So I'm going to show you guys Lambert the Sheepish Lion because Lambert is actually a pretty well-known character. Oh, I just have to point out somebody else. So in the credits right here, you see narration of Sterling Holloway. And you see Eric Larson, John Lounsbury. Well, Sterling Holloway was, as you guys know, the voice of Winnie the Pooh. But he had been acting in Hollywood since the 30s. He just had that unique, soft-sounding voice that's perfect for animation, obviously, because Disney brought him to do several projects. And the two animators that I mentioned to you, they're two of the 9 old men. And the 9 old men were 9 key animators that Walt Disney trusted the most in doing the major leading characters in animating. Like, I'll give you an example. Ward Kimball being the lead animator for Jiminy Cricket, and that he knew he could trust these guys to do the best animation they could with these major characters. But that was Lambert. And then rolling back to Sterling Holloway, in The Little House, Sterling Holloway also as you see there, is narrated by him. And right here, you see Mark Davis and Les Clark. They're two other of the Nano Men. And Claude Coates is also a famous background painter. So that's, and Bill Peet is also a famous story artist as well. So just all these famous names joining their talents together. But this is actually, it's very colorful, it's very fun looking animation. But the story is extremely, how would I put this? It touches the preservationists and history people in general. You have a beautiful building, a little house that has been there since way before all those buildings came in, right? But you had all these buildings just all around it, just taking up space. And there's been so many pictures I see. I'll just give an example of Hollywood, that you'll have an old building in the middle of these new buildings, and that the old building somehow survives through some wreckage, but people have to go in and try to save it. And so I feel like that's what this short tries to kind of also say, that progress keeps building around, but a quaint little house like that needs love and care. And that's unfortunately how a lot of buildings end up looking like. You saw it with boards and everything, but they ended up moving the little house back to where it needed to be. But I would highly recommend that short. Let's go on to the next one. Yeah, Football Now and Then, Toot, Whistle, Plunk, and Boom, Ben and Me. So this one I am going to show. Because this one, as you see, 1950s, even look at the aspect ratio. You can tell it's 1950s. And even the backgrounds and everything. So, look at color styling, Ivan Earl. So Ivan Earl was famous for his backgrounds for Sleeping Beauty. But here we have the Ward Kimball, Mark Davis. I'm going to go back. Xavier Atencio. He was a big designer for Pirates of the Caribbean. Nine men working on this amazing short. Toot, Whistle, Plunk, and Bloom. So, as you can tell, this is completely different than the last short, The Little House. Here we have the UPA style. And for those who don't know who UPA is, they were a 1950s animation group that became kind of disillusioned with some of these major studios that did animation, so they decided they wanted to be different and edgy with their style of animation, kind of cheap and quick. And so in my Highland Avenue video, if you guys haven't seen, I show the location of the second location of the UPA studios on Highland Avenue, so you guys should check that out. So those are the shorts there. So bonus features, we have Alice's Cartoon World, an interview with Virginia Davis, From Kansas City to Hollywood, a timeline of Disney silent era. So that's actually extremely interesting for those who especially love to learn about the early years of Walt Disney. So here we have Alice Davis.
Stop, it wasn't typed. He didn't have a typewriter at that time.
And as you saw, I don't know if it went pretty quick, but MJ Winkler, she was an early, she was a pioneer of distribution to animation, so she saw Disney's Alice shorts and wanted to put them out to show to the public. But in this one, she shares her entire journey of how she got the role and everything, and how she moved from where she was to California to follow Walt Disney and to creating more of these shorts. So I highly recommend that. I will actually have to watch it myself. So from Kansas City, let's check out what this is. Now this has to be an amazing thing too. So look at that. So Kansas City, Walt Disney, showing the early years. So what I like about these kind of little docs, that's why I try to do with my docs. Short, like little quick, where you're not overwhelmed with a lot of jargon, but enough for you to stick in your brain amazing story of it all. So here, this famous picture, this Disney Brothers, is actually around the Los Feliz area, so you guys should definitely check that out. Their first studio in Los Angeles. I'm also going to make a future video of some of the spots of Walt Disney's early Los Angeles life. So that was a Hyperion studio, as you saw. That unfortunately has been demolished. It is now a supermarket, but they have a plaque where it shows where it was. But as you saw, Oswald was their bread and butter for a little bit until it was taken away by Charles Mintz. And we have how it ended all, the silent era with Steamboat Willie. So that's why this is one of my favorite Walt Disney Treasures, because of all this classic stuff. Now let's move on to disc 2. Something else I forgot to mention about this Disney Rarities box set. It was actually one of the first box sets that I remember watching, because at my local library when I was a kid, they had only 2 box sets of Disney treasures, and I was always into Disney history ever since I was a kid. But when I saw this, I thought, hey, what is this? Should I check this out? Why not? So even then, I was already getting into the classic Hollywood without even knowing it. So this is cool. Now here we have disc 2. We have a cute picture of Lambert there. Now let's see. Now here is disc 2. Let's check this out.
Hello, I'm Leonard Maltin.
Hello.
Disc 2 of Walt Disney Rarities. The 1950s was a decade of tremendous change in the movie industry. The Walt Disney Studio was affected as much as any other.
And also because of television, it was affected too, as you see right there.
Origin of the symposium short, one of his all-time favorite Disney assignments. 2 longtime Disney animators, Bill Justice and Xavier Atencio, who still merely as pets, started fooling around with stop-motion animation, manipulating three-dimensional objects with one.
Ah, now that is fascinating. Again, I don't want to show too much because I'm just afraid of getting copyright stricken, but that's enough of a taste. So we hit Disney Rarities in a chronological listing. Let's check this out. Pigs is Pigs, Social Lion, Hooked Bear, Jack, and Old Mac in the bag. So let's check out Pigs is Pigs. Why not? Buena Vista. Pigs is Pigs. Let's see. I want to see some of the... Okay, there's some of the Ivan Earl there, as you see. Oh, but look. It has a similar-ish style to the last short I showed you. Toot, Whistle, Plunk, and Blow. But this one looks more storybook versus the typical animation that you're used to from the Disney Studio. So I always like to see the different kind of styles they were experimenting with. I feel the 50s was definitely an experimentation age. So let's check Hooked Bear. Back to RKO. Humphrey. Now Humphrey became a little star, I would say, in multiple shorts, which is really cute. Okay, Hooked Bear, that's where. Ah, here's a park ranger who was voiced by Mr. Smee. Same Mr. Smee voice, but these cartoons are so charming because Humphrey is a kind of, he's just a silly bear who gives trouble to the park ranger. But I feel has been a new discovery with Humphrey the bear lately. I think I've seen like a pin of him lately. One time I went to a store at Disneyland, and somebody was pointing to a pin that was obviously Humphrey, but they said, "Oh look, it's Baloo from Jungle Book." I didn't know how they thought it was Baloo because Baloo's a different color. Anyways, so here we have A Cowboy Needs a Horse, the story of Any Bird USA, The Truth About Mother Goose, Paul Bunyan, and Noah's Ark. So let's check out The Truth About Mother Goose. Back to Buena Vista. That's something I need to look into also. Why they switched to the 2 distribution companies. Oh, this is the one I think that... Interesting. But just looking... To me, this looks like experimentation to Sleeping Beauty. Of course, Sleeping Beauty is at a different level, but I see it very similar with the colors and the character designs and the shapes of the buildings. I would be safe to say that these cartoons definitely helped, and it was around the same ballpark a little bit, development stage for Sleeping Beauty, because it came out not too long afterwards. But let's say Paul Bunyan, Les Clark, American Folklore of Paul Bunyan. Oh, let's see. Huh. So this one to me looks less I mean, the backgrounds look more UPA-ish style. Not super complicated, but not super simple either. But the character designs to me looks more traditional Disney versus the UPA style character designs. But I can still see where the change was. But another iconic short there. Now let's see the next page. Goliath 2, The Saga of Windwagon Smith, a symposium on popular songs. I'm going to play just one of them here. I'll play the last one because this one's 1962. So that to me is kind of interesting. Huh. Attencio. Look at that. Words and Music by Richard and Robert Sherman. Ludwig von Drake. This one looks... Oh, and look at that. The stop motion that Leonard Maltin was talking about. And looks like paper doll animation, kind of stop motion. But look at that. That is incredible. These are... Oh. I don't know why that guy reminds me of Bing Crosby. Well, they're supposed to be the Andrews sisters. Obviously, I have to watch this myself, but definitely super nice. Huh. That was... Huh. I'm trying to figure out who that was supposed to be. Well, that's amazing. All these different kinds of music art styles mixing in with the different times. Oh. Huh. Those are my favorite kinds of shorts, honestly, when they mix different medias together. So here we have bonus features, so let's check this out. Symposium, it's an audio commentary if you want to learn more about it. Kind of what I'm doing here, but obviously by somebody much more noteworthy. And A Feather in His Collar with the galleries. So let's check out what this is.
During World War II, Walt Disney's animated stars proved to be ideal spokesmen for everything from the purchase of war bonds.
Which is very true. So, So this is another example of that, using Pluto. Okay. Always nice to include more than less. So here we have galleries. I'm just going to show you guys one. How about... So we have those four, as you see. Let me see if there is... let's do Paul Bunyan since we looked at it. Ah, look at that. Look at this beautiful watercolor looking style. See? Very simple, but it's a very simplified palette. Just blues and greens mostly. Character design. Wow. I was surprised by that. Imagine seeing them in person. Bonus features. Main menu. So that concludes the second disc of the Disney Rarities. That one has to be one of the most unique collections we have here. And let's move on to the next one. Next in line we have Spinandmarty. I've actually never watched this, so it's going to be really quite a treat. So let's open this box. Here is this. Spinandmarty. Their day of fun was masked in dangers. The primary location for the Triple R Ranch was the Golden Oak Ranch, north of Walt Disney Studio. Perfect as a boys' camp, it also became a perfect setting for Walt himself. He was so taken with the Golden Oak Ranch, he bought it, and to this day, movies are still filmed there. That's really cool. So now we have that. Huh. No certificate in this one. I love this Walt picture. They use it for the Your Host Walt Disney box set. Little blurb. And then here are all the episodes. And the years, just to show you guys. Now, let's go check it out. And I'm going to show you guys the beautiful collection. Now here we have the first disc of Spinandmarty. Let's check it out. Here we have the main menu of it.
Hello and
Here we
welcome
have
to Disc 1 of
Leonard
Spinandmarty.
Maltin.
I'm Leonard Maltin, and I can hardly believe I'm standing here at the Golden Oak Ranch in Newhall, California, which was home base for the adventures of Spinandmarty. Like millions of other kids, I was enraptured when my favorite new TV show, The Mickey Mouse Club, introduced a daily serial about two quite different boys who were sent to a ranch-style camp for the summer. It didn't take long for Spinandmarty to
check
catch
that
on,
out.
and their story, told in continuing chapters from day to day, became a highlight of the hour-long Disney show.
Wow. Well, that's a little nice intro of Spinandmarty that I wasn't aware of. Now let's explore this DVD together. Now here we have the main menu. The series Part 1. The Triple R, The Misfit, The Wild Stallion, Froggy Day, The Battle. I guess let's check out the Triple R. And it starts off, of course, with the Mickey Mouse Club. I did not realize that this show was on at Newhall. Huh. Let me see. We're gonna also see.
He's for me. I want the pig with the bald face.
Huh.
I want a fast one. You mean there's one for each of us? One whole horse? Sure.
Let's see. Historian Mark Wanamaker has told me that he was in an episode of Spinandmarty, so I'm trying to see if he is in this one or not. Because I've actually never watched these, so I'm just curious to see if he's in this first episode or not. Doesn't look like
Never gonna
him
stay here. Is it true he gets to go on?
He showed me a picture of a faraway shot, but I'm not sure if it's one of the kids that they showed already. Oh, that was quick. Well, let's go through some of them then, if we want to see if we can find them. That was a lot quicker than I thought it was.
Yeah, Bill.
Huh.
Have you meet them?
At least you're lucky your mother and father didn't.
It has to be on. It was pretty fascinating just to see it though. I thought it was a lot longer. Actual 30-minute type of shows, but I guess it's not. Well, that's how they appear to be. I guess I'm not going to be able to go through all of them. Oh, actually, let me check just one more, the White Stallion, since that's the one that we were looking at. Well, let's see. It just makes me want to watch them even more, you know? And I'm just curious to see who all these little kids are. I don't see credits. So I'm just curious. Huh.
I do. Is there anything wrong with that?
Just wondering
later on.
Definitely somebody we'll have to look at. Maybe he made a little cameo somewhere.
You're so good at it.
Not here. Huh. Well, that's why they're very short. Oh, it played again. That was very strange. Okay. Well, let's see the other ones. Surprise decision, homesick, Logan's lesson, the chase, Ride-em Cowboy. Let's check out Ride-em Cowboy. We'll just go through them quickly. Huh. So here's probably more kids.
But I want
Let's see.
boys to learn to ride bareback too. Teaches you how to grip the horse with your knees, how to feel what he's doing.
I don't recognize him from there. I'm just curious if he's in another episode or something. Yeah, because that doesn't... I'm trying to remember the picture that he showed me. But it wasn't a close-up, that's the only problem. But let's just note, this is such a beautiful ranch. And I didn't realize it was so close in Newhall. I thought it was, for some reason, farther. Huh. Yeah. He doesn't look like any of these kids, so I don't... It's something I'm gonna have to go back and explore on my own, because I have to also pull up the picture that he showed me, and the one that he's in is not popping up there. So let's go back and see what we got in the bonus features. Mickey Mouse Club number 25, an introduction to Spinandmarty, Tim Considine screen test galleries. That's pretty interesting. Now going back to it, sorry about the technical glitch again. So let's fast forward through the Mickey Mouse Club. MICKEYMOUSE. So here is an episode of the Mickey Mouse Club showing such iconic people and elements to the show, as you will see right now. Here's Annette and everybody dancing. Roy, right there with the rest of the crew. Actually, let me show you quickly. Oh, you see her? It's little Annette. She looks so different from everybody else. So let's see. Oh, so this is the episode of the Mickey Mouse Club where they introduce Spinandmarty. Now, as you saw, what I would show you guys in the other part of the disc is the actual episodes afterwards, but this is the first one. And I'm also going to check to see if Mark Wanamaker is in this episode, because as he showed me a photo of himself, he's kind of in the background, so I think he has to be one of these kids in the back. It's just kind of hard to tell, one, because this is a DVD, and two, I don't remember which kid he said he was. I'm trying to remember, because I think he said he's one of those kids back there. The only way I would figure out which one was who is I would need to have a close-up of him. But you can't really see him in this. I think this was the screenshot that he showed me, but I can't really tell who he would be in this little shot. So that's why, if he is a regular on the show, that would have been nice. But here's continuing the Mickey Mouse Club, cartoon showing Mickey Mouse in the 30s, late 20s. This looks like early 30s with the rubbery animation. So it jumps back. Oh, look at that. I bet you anything.
Here's Tinkerbell.
I bet you anything these are for sale.
Official Mouseketeer windbreaker.
Huh.
And as you can see, many more.
Definitely stuff for kids to want to buy. Tell their parents what they wanted for Christmas.
ABC Television Network.
Ah, okay. So here's the next thing in the special features. Tim Considine's screen test. So let's look at that. Marty Markman. Huh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. If you're gonna tell a lie, might as
Huh.
well.
Interesting. So here we have... Oh, there. Okay. So, let's check the galleries. Down on the Triple R merchandise behind the scenes. Oh, so they had lots of different kinds of merchandise. Disney has always been big about selling stuff to its consumer base. But Triple R, 3R Bench. Oh, let me go back. Oh, the menu, behind the scenes, some photos. Huh, interesting. Huh, interesting photograph of showing the Golden Oak Ranch. Huh. Now, if only they have a photo of that part with all the kids on the fences. I'm just curious to see. The problem is, I wonder if he's the one with the in the middle with the black shirt. I need a closer up. It's hard to tell also. There's Walt Disney visiting. Wow, snake. But these pictures are really cool to see. I'm just curious to see if he's in any of these production still photographs. Oh wait, is that the jacket? Okay. Let me go back one. Yeah, not the jacket kid. Nope, the set still. Huh. Definitely reminds me of a western set. Probably filmed a lot of their westerns out here too. Well, you get the picture here. There's a lot of nice photographs there. And right there you can see it big. But yeah. See it all? Okay. So let's go back. Bonus features. Main menu. And that's the first disc. Let's move on to the second disc. Here we have the second disc of Spinandmarty. Here we have the main menu.
Hello, I'm
Here we're
Leonard
back
Maltin.
at the Golden
Welcome
Oak
to
Ranch.
Disc 2 of Spinandmarty. When I was a kid watching these shows, I had no knowledge of film history or the people who collaborated to make this daily serial. Now I know that the man behind the camera was one of the most prolific directors in the history of Hollywood, William Bodine.
Huh.
He started out as an actor in silent films as early as 1911 and quickly moved behind the camera, amassing more than 200 credits over the next 60 years.
Always Leonard Maltin bringing in the most interesting facts about anything about animation and film history. Perfect host to anything. Now here we have, if you want to rewatch the intro, the rest of the intro is on there. Play all the series part 2, bonus features. So let's see what they got here. So the snipe hunt, the secret ride, tragedy, Perkins' decision, tossing the calf. So let's check out the secret ride. So here it connects it to the Mickey Mouse Club. I'm just curious to see if he was in any other episode. Mark Wanamaker, I mean. Because unless he was just an extra for the first episode ever. Help me out here. Wow, but just look at those landscapes. But again, we have to consider that's very short too. They're like little shorts. So let's go with tossing the calf. Going back to the Mickey Mouse Club. Huh. A lot of kids on this dude ranch. I mean, I guess you would call it boy ranch. I mean, young boys can be dudes too. But I can only imagine how difficult it would be to be an animal trainer also on the set. I feel horses can be one of the easiest animals to tame on set. But I don't know. I'm not an animal trainer. So let's check out Rope Artist. Huh. So there's more. At first, I thought that guy was Buddy Epson, fast forwarding it. But this guy has way bushier eyebrows than Buddy Epson. Huh. This atmosphere also reminds me a lot of a Fred MacMurray movie called Follow Me, Boys, in which Fred MacMurray becomes a Boy Scout leader. And it was also filmed on the Golden Oak Ranch. Actually, a bunch of movies, definitely later in the 60s and the 70s, were filmed on the Golden Oak Ranch. Including, there's a famous scene in the first Herbie movie that Herbie drives over a lake. And that lake was actually located here at the Golden Oak Ranch, which is really cool. And they still own this property to this day, which I hope they are still utilizing it as the way Walt did. So let's go to the next page. Last one, we have the live ghost, the big rodeo, off on the wrong foot, skyrocket's trick, the last campfire, the big rodeo. I actually, on my visit to Texas, I went to a rodeo and I filmed footage for you guys. So one of these days, I'm gonna do a little mini history of the rodeo and people's fascination with it, and hopefully I will debut it on my channel soon. I just appreciate you guys dealing with waiting for my James Stewart one, because I'm just waiting until the contest is over so I'm able to officially publish it, but that'll be coming soon. So I'm just gonna be showing one episode there because you kind of get the idea. It's a nice family show for everyone to watch. We have here bonus features. Return to Triple R, back in the saddle with Harry Carey Jr. Okay, so let's go Return to Triple R. So they're showing the Golden Oak Ranch again.
Right?
Wow, it's a new hall.
This would be the entrance. Yeah. What was that the entrance?
Interesting.
I don't know. But this was what would have been the entrance in the series. Fence along here, corral there.
Huh. But you see that? Oh. Let's see who these gentlemen are. Oh, here's Tim Considine and David Stollery.
You know, so you had a memory.
Huh. Well, that's great that they went back to visit to tell their stories, because this is fascinating, especially since a lot of that is still there. And there's Walt Disney there too. All the photographs they're using there, it's in the gallery, so luckily we have them in both areas. And the next one we have Back in the Saddle with Harry Carey Jr. I'm telling you, these treasures are just amazing. It shows you all these different facets that you'll never knew about film history.
Freddie Hartshut called up one day.
And his father, Harry Carey Sr., also acted with John Wayne in a bunch of westerns as well, so it's good to have the family connection there. Fascinating. Go back to the main menu. And that concludes Spinandmarty. Let's move on to the next treasure in the line. But not least, we have Elphego Baka, the swamp fox. I honestly could tell you guys, I'd never even heard of this before discovering my own treasures to buy. So this is going to be as much an adventure for me as it is for you guys. I don't know if you guys remember, but there is a CD that has the theme song of this. I'm trying to remember. It was a Disneyland. I think it was on my Disneyland CD. There's some classic Disney CD that I have that I can review for you guys one day if you want. So here we have, see, this one has a certificate. This one has a little poster. I don't know why that guy looks like Leslie Nielsen to me. During the American Revolution, the British could never find Patriot Francis Marion and his band of warriors. They couldn't even anticipate his attacks. Knowing the Carolina swamps better than anyone alive earned him the nickname Swamp Fox. And there's that. Here's a little blurb. Same Walt picture. That's pretty cool. Oh, wait a minute. It is Leslie Nielsen. Oh, what the? How did I not know that? Huh. Wow. There it is. The series. I'm surprised. How did I not know that? Anyways, let's go check out a young Leslie Nielsen. For those who don't know, was later on in the famous Airplane movie. So let's check it out. Now here we have the first disc of Elphego Baka, the Swamp Fox, Legendary Heroes. Ba-bum! Now here we have. This is going to be an interesting treat for me because I've actually never seen any kinds of clip of this kind of collection before. Huh.
Hello, I'm Leonard Maltin, and welcome to Disc 1 of Disney's Legendary Heroes. When Walt Disney launched his Disneyland television series in 1954, he established a rotating format that was based on the different sections of his Disneyland theme park: Adventureland, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and Frontierland.
We're showing a little piece of this just to give us a little more context with this.
Davy Crockett, which became a national phenomenon. Now, the fact that Davy died in the third episode, defending the Alamo, couldn't stop Walt from bringing him back to life for another outing during the series' second season. But what could he do for an encore?
Okay.
The challenge was to find other colorful characters from American history. And you're going to meet two of them on this DVD: Elphego Baka and the Swamp Fox. Both men really existed. In fact, Elphego Baka wrote his autobiography in 1944 when he ran for the job of district attorney in New Mexico. He died.
Well, let's give a little snippet of that. That I didn't know, and I should have looked more into it. But let's see this. I think it's kind of fascinating that Walt Disney decided to continue doing historical figures, especially if they have interesting stories. But obviously, it's probably not going to be all exactly the same of how it matches history, but we'll see what we got here. 9 lives of Elphego Baka, 4 down and 5 lives to go, attorney at law. Now, I'm just wondering if these episodes are longer because there's only 3 of them. Well, let's find out. Let's just stick with the first one. Starting out.
Actually held off a lynch mob of 80 cowboys who fired 4,000 rounds like this into the flimsy shack where he was hiding.
I just realized, look at the tie that Walt Disney's wearing. He's wearing a little small tie, but hey, it still works.
Chose himself. Where's the of the piece?
Now, what I love about this is that Western feel. I've been watching a bunch of Charles Bronson Westerns and just kind of Westerns in general. So the fact that this is connected to what I'm already watching is pretty fascinating. But I wish I had watched this already beforehand so I could tell you guys more information. But I could just comment on this that it does give me a lot of Magnificent Seven vibes, just from looking through it right now. But what is also something that I do notice that Disney did a lot back then was he cared more about the history. He cared more about American history. He just cared about history in general. And I just feel that the Disney studio doesn't do this at all anymore. At all. They don't incorporate his history into their new work, their live action movies. If they're doing maybe a biopic or some kind of documentary, that's the only time they ever do it. But making entertainment based on things like this, like Davy Crockett and historical people in America's history, that is something I wish they would focus on more, so kids could know who these people are and not only wait until they maybe hear it in their history books, which I've never heard of this guy before.
But deadly at short range.
Huh.
In our next week's program, titled 4 Down and 5 Lives to Go, a gun such as this almost snuffed out the charmed life of El Fego Baca.
Interesting. Oh, that's fascinating. And I'm just curious to see if they filmed it on the back lot or if they filmed it at the Golden Oaks Ranch. But I don't know why I'm thinking it's the back lot when they had a back lot. Excuse me. So as what Walt Disney said, this was the following episode. This one says February 9, 1959. But I'm just going to play the one episode since I realize it's a little longer. And we'll just go with the bonus features. The Many Lives of Robert Loggia. So this must be the main guy.
I'm very happy to be sitting here
plays
with the star of
El
El
Fego
Fego Baca, a man who's familiar to, I think, anyone who's seen a movie, a television show, or been to the theater in the past 50 years. Robert Loggia. Thanks for being here.
Great to be here with you, Leonard. Great to be here with you.
Robert, you've had such a long, varied, rich...
Let's go through this.
Heaven. I remember Walt saying, "Can you ride, son?" I said, "No, sir, but I can learn. I was a good athlete." And he said, "Okay." And
now, this is fascinating. Oh, he can even definitely still play a cowboy even when he's older. That's for sure. I'm just trying to see if there's any kind of...
He's got to have that ethnicity, and Walt went with it. So I played him with a definite accent and celebrated his ethnicity as a Mexican American.
And that was quite something in those days. There wasn't a lot of that on television.
No, there wasn't. There was an antithesis to him.
I mean, he fooled me. There's a lot of Mexicans that look white, so vice versa. There's some Mexicans out there that look more white than white people, so here we have... Oh! There's Annette in this clip. I did not realize that. She probably is in one of the episodes I didn't realize.
Yeah. And then Walt, ever mindful of sort of building his little family, even put Annette-Funicello in there.
Annette-Funicello was in there. We were good friends. I adored her. If I really do genuflect to Walt and Norman.
Even probably she could pass as a... They needed her for like a Mexican role because of her dark hair. And we have galleries right here. Merchandise, El Fego Baca, the Swamp Fox. Again, good old Disney to sell whatever they have on TV. Huh. Interesting. Now, I'm looking even more forward to watching this. The full episodes. Alright, that concludes the first disc. Let's move on to the second. Here's the intro for the second disc. Let's check this out. Back to the Golden Oak Ranch, it appears to be.
Hello, I'm Leonard Maltin. Welcome to Disc 2 of Disney's Legendary Heroes. Walt Disney loved American history. You can see that in his original conception of the Disneyland park, and you certainly see it on his television show. When he was looking for heroes who might walk in the footsteps of Davy Crockett, someone suggested Lieutenant Colonel Francis Marion, the patriot known as the Robin Hood of the American Revolution, who earned the nickname the Swamp Fox.
There you go.
Perfect choice.
That's where you got the name from. Huh. Now that's fascinating. You can tell Walt Disney had such patriotism. That's something I feel that a lot of things are lacking. So let's see what we got. Here's the main menu. Again, there's only 3 episodes. I'm wondering why, but let's just see the first episode to give you a taste. So as you see, there's Leslie Nielsen as Swamp Fox. So Swamp Fox, at least we know, is the nickname. Because when people hear Swamp Fox, what in the world is that? Well, there was a mini explanation Leonard Maltin gave.
And he and his hardy band of freedom fighters were on the move. To the American patriots who lived and fought throughout those uncertain days, Colonel Marion was a hero, second only to George Washington.
See, these are the people that you never hear about. And I'm just going to make another point. His tie looks like the exact same tie, except this one is longer, but it had a similar white symbol. Anyways, just trying to be silly. So this is based around the Revolutionary War. You can tell by the clothing and the period piece. And I don't want to mistake the other one. I thought it was around Civil War time, but probably not. But people, I feel, are not that used to seeing a young Leslie Nielsen. Oh my god, I thought that was Alan Ladd at first. I don't think it's not Alan Ladd, but let's just see a close-up of this guy.
Keep yourself. I'm gonna want some other folks and then clear out too. My name's also on the list.
Nope. I thought for a split second it looked like Alan Ladd. Why does that look like the same river or body of water that they used for Herbie? But I don't think so. So, let's see. Gotta use those horses. Huh. I always wonder why they had little ponytails. A lot of people around this time. Maybe because their hair was really long and they didn't want it in their face, or why did they have ponytails? If there's anybody who could please comment that and enlighten me, I would love to know more information. There's finishing up.
The Tories pillaged and burned homes and farms.
Something I always notice with horses that no matter how well that they tame it, if they're using those fake guns, they'll get easily startled by them.
This is his life, his love.
Why is that?
She looks like she's from the Victorian era with that hairstyle. But there it is. Louise Beavers. I didn't see Louise Beavers. Huh. So Louise Beavers, for those you don't know, she was a famous actress in the 30s who played a lot of, unfortunately, servant roles to the likes of Bing Crosby and such, and Paramount and various other studios. Unfortunately, they didn't give her a lot of varying roles of who she could play, but she was always a sweet person to the cast. Oh, she was in Imitation of Life, the original Claudette Colbert version, and she was really good in that. But I wish they didn't give him more roles than servants, unfortunately. But okay, move on here. Bonus features: Walt Disney presents Heroes of the American Frontier. I am thinking.
Here is your host, Walt Disney.
Oh wow, look at that!
Sheriff in the old Southwest was generally the most important man in
You
town.
can't imagine Walt wearing that kind of outfit. That is hilarious.
He loved experimentation. He loved cutting-edge technology.
Walt was a man who always wanted to be...
This is fascinating. This connects both the future and past Walt. And again, you saw the tiny tie, so... That's hilarious. So in these kind of TV shows, he's able to
based on
connect the past with the future. With the future of television, but connecting it with the past heroes of the frontier.
Western and historical series that Walt Disney.
I just wish that they would utilize Frontierland more with these kind of people.
Saying, But the
Texas
words
John.
are Texas John Slaughter made men do what they oughter, because if they didn't, they died. Pretty.
Every man was on his own.
In the future,
And these kind
by going
of
blindly,
Western types. They thought they could just shoot each other just to shoot them. Oh, that's a picture of by Adventureland.
saw more than
Oh, did I pass it? Oh no. It's right here.
He-
Oh, why did I talk about this picture? Let's see.
so he really saw more than most of us wanted to see. He took his influence over America's children very seriously. He was an amazingly
That was a famous Adventureland photo. Oh, and that was the end of that. So let's go back to the main menu. And that is the end of the Swamp Fox treasure. So here's a basic price breakdown I want to give to you guys. So for the Volume 2 Donald, it goes around like $20 to $25 depending on who you get it from. This one it could average $25 to $30. This one is on the cheaper end. I've seen it go for $15 to $20, but lately it's been going a little up because I feel as when Disney announced they were taking away them developing the DVDs and moving it to Sony, I had a feeling that these were being more in demand, so these might end up becoming pricier than when I originally got them. And this one is kind of tough to get. So this one, I had a bid tooth and nail for this one. I was able to get a reasonable price, thank goodness. But every time I tried to grab my hands on this, I would always get outbid. So beware when you're going to get your own copy of this one. Phew. Wasn't that a cool one, guys? I cannot believe how much nuggets of gold and history are unpacked in each of these box sets. I can't believe it, but I really wish Disney would release more. And now with the advent of streaming taking over and unfortunately downsizing some companies releasing these wonderful box sets, I really hope one day in the future Disney realizes how important it is to release these kind of obscure titles so that more people can enjoy them. But please join me in the next wave, and thank you for watching here from Vidstorical Films.